Hello and welcome to this week's angling blog. This week you join me out on the bank and we're in search of silvers. Today you do join me on the beautiful banks of Village Pool. It's a water that I love coming to visit at this time of year. It's got plenty of silvers in. The temperatures are quite mild for this time of year, so hopefully we can get one or two silvers on the bank. So the water is on the Lymm Anglers ticket, and I'll put a link down below to the club website for you to take a look at the other waters on the card if you are local. But for me, it's just a place that I come when I want a chilled out day's fishing on the float or the feeder. So while I've been setting up the gear behind, I have been keeping an eye on the water, and there hasn't been too many fish topping. I am a confidence angler and I do love when I arrive on the bank just seeing them fish top. There has been one or two, but not a load. But the beauty of fishing is you never know. So let's take a look at the setup and how we're going to approach it. So that is the swim that we're going to fish today, and you can see nice simple side tray, and looking up, what a beautiful venue. I say there is a bit of wind due today, that's why I've come here, because the trees do protect you. But it is just one of them venues that you see on the channel quite a bit, because it's a place that I enjoy coming. And to be honest with you, that is what YouTube for me is all about. Primarily, I go fishing at the end of a working week to chill out, relax, and I just make a video along the way. And as such, I always go venues that I'm thinking about in the week. So in the week, I was thinking, you know, let's come and give it a go. Let's have a lazy Sunday, just fishing for whatever comes along. So tactics wise today, I've set up two rods. I've got my 11-foot phase one, and on there I've got a VisiWag. The other rod, my Carp all-rounder rod quiver with a 1 ounce tip. I've got one of the light Dinsmore feeders. Looking at the side tray, we've got some of the Hinders supercharged, and as you can see on screen now, I've put that through a riddle. Doing everything we can today to make everything refined. We've got plenty of red maggot, and we've got pinky, which I think that's the bait we're going to start on today. And to start with, I think I'm going to put in about 4 casts with the feeder, let it settle, and we'll start on the waggler. That's the plan. Let's get started. On the waggler, I am going to start on a single pinky, just feeding a few into the swim, not loads. Like I say, not seeing many fish top, so go over the top and then just reel into that patch of bait. And so we've got that float nicely dotted down, and we're right over that patch of pinky. Got 1 shot on the line, so we get a nice slow fall of the bait. And to begin with, I'm just going to sit over that little pouch to begin with, and just judge what comes in. A first little bit of a bite there, just a little dip on the float. And so we can't, there we go, we can't really dot it down anymore. And I'm not too shocked to see a nice little small roach, but it's a good sign that it's a bite. And the fish isn't ice cold, which is a good sign. I've got a nice heavy float on that's going to make casting quite easy. You don't want to be struggling with your cast really. You know, it should be a nice easy cast. And we can cast well past the line there and bring it back in over that bait. It's a bite straight away before I've even had a chance to feed a bit more pinky. As I say, at the start, I'm not too bothered about the size of fish. So we are waiting for Mr. Log to come through. I'm just going to feed a bit more pinky into the swim. And say it is a bait you've got to be careful with, because you can feed a lot each cast. I've just cast to the side there because the log's in the way, and the float's gone straight away. And this is a great start, better than I expected, most definitely. And it's been a nice start to the session. We've had them 2 small roach, and that one actually come just a random cast to the side really while that log's going through. There we go, there's another bite. Still coming over them initial patches of bait. And it is a good start to the session, most definitely. What can happen when you take it easy is the year classes do increase as it goes on normally, and that's the first slightly better fish. And the problem today, I think, is going to be going over to that feeder because I do love me float fishing, as you know, on the channel. Well, that's the first slightly better one. I say taking it nice and easy, keeping the feeding accurate, and going over that bait, but just taking it nice and easy. And that is why in the colder months I love using Pinky, because it'll catch fish of all sizes. We could hit Mr. Carp today, but we're fishing that light, he probably won't know he's hooked. And you can see there just how sensitive we've got the float, and that is close in the edge. So if you imagine, we've got another number 11 shot to go on that's going to dot it right down. It's a nice sensitive float that we've got. Plenty of weight to get out there, but then the finesse for hitting these light bites. So just started to get a few bites now, and I'm matching the feed into the bites. I'm not putting any more bait in than I was before, but I'm putting it in every cast to go in now. So 4 to 5 Pinky every cast, and the bites are keeping on coming, so it's looking good. And the beauty of this fishing today is you just don't know what your next bite's going to be. You know, you're catching smaller roach and then you're hooking to a slightly better one. And, you know, on this venue you could hook a bream, a carp, a big perch. It is a wonderful venue. And as a silverfish angler at heart, how can you not be happy with that? A Sunday morning, sat bankside, getting plenty of bites. Feeding just a little nugget of that ground bait now every so often, and over the top with them Pinky. So it is only a short session this morning. We're probably about 2.5 to 3 hours in, and it is a bite of chuck. You can see down there the clarity in the venue, but we've got our tactics right today. A nice light setup, you know, that 2-pound line, a small hook. We fed it right and we're getting the rewards. So for the last bit of the session, I just decided to have another cast on that feeder, just to see if anything had settled on that bait we put in this morning. And one almighty drop back. I think we've got Mr. Bream. And it was one hell of a drop back. It took me by surprise. You couldn't think a fish like that wouldn't pull the tip round and give you the drop back. And there we go, Mr. Bream. Fills the net nicely, doesn't he, at the bottom? And definitely one of the bonus fish of the day. And boy am I glad I brought the feeder along. You know, we've been putting a bit of bait out there. It was quiet. You've seen what we've been doing here. It's been bite a chuck. I thought we'll have a cheeky cast over there before the end. And there's definitely a bit of hybrid about him. I don't think he knows what he is. A bit of a rud mouth, bream body, rud bream hybrid, what's possibly. But hopefully it's just showing there how you can start the day by feeding really light. You know, take it easy to begin with, and by the end you literally can be a bite of chuck and be feeding really aggressive. And showing that all manner of species will come shallow. That's a bream caught 2 foot deep, something like that, on maggot on the drop. So that does bring the session to an end there now, and as you can see on screen, we've had plenty of bites in a short morning session. Today has definitely been one of them sessions where Danny most definitely is in trouble. I was supposed to be home for 12 o'clock and it's getting on for 1:30 now, so I'm definitely in trouble. All that remains for me now to do is wish you all tight lines in your own fishing. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave it a like and subscribe down below. But all that remains is to wish you all tight lines, and I'll catch you all next week.